Hey guys, welcome to the Lyran Connection. I'm actually going to, let's see here. I just looked at how to flip this camera around, and I am working on that as we speak, as we wait for some people. Let me see here. Just give me a moment. I'm trying to flip this camera around so you can actually see it for what I'm going to share with you. Let's see. All right, guys. What I'm trying to do is actually flip around the camera so I can share with you. I have definitely had quite a bit of contact in the last 24 hours. So forgive me for a moment while I set up. And I thought I had this all. So be patient with me just for a moment. How's everyone doing tonight? Good evening, VJ. Julia. I watched this whole video. My wife sent me over this video how to turn the camera so you guys can actually read along with me with what I have. And I figured it out. And now when I go on here, of course, it's not there to flip. So that's awesome stuff. So just give me another moment and I will. So I'm going to see this. So I'm going to press the wand and then the screwdriver, huh? So that's what I'm trying to do right now. If I can get the wand back up on the screen, I'm going to do that. This is awesome stuff, guys. Here we go. Wand, the screwdriver, and then what? Alright, guys. I am in the wand. I'm looking for this screwdriver thing so I can flip it around the camera so you guys can see what I see. And you can read along. And I'm not seeing the screwdriver. One moment. Please hold. All right. And now I just put, yep, that's happening. That's not That is definitely not what I want to do. That is definitely not what I want to do. Wow, this is a nightmare. Okay, so I disappear. I got those lines to disappear. That's amazing. It's a victory. Now I just need to go ahead and flip the camera. And this doesn't look like it's going to happen. That's for lighting. That's scary. And does anyone else know how to flip a camera around so you guys can read from left to right, right to left? Does anyone know how to do this? I'm crashing and burning. So if you click on, it will bring up the options for flipping the screen. The one with the dotted line up and down, I think the screwdriver, the wand. Okay, well, I found the wand and I am not seeing. There's comments. Okay. All right, great. So I got comments up. That's awesome. I got comments, guys. I've got lighting. I found the wand. So let me see on here. There's the wand. Now I'm looking on here how to invert it. The reason why I'm spending a lot of time on this and trying to figure this out is because it's important, because I did receive 4 messages yesterday through contact, and it's some pretty heavy hitting stuff. One of the messages actually is like the longest messages, one of the longest messages that I've ever received from contact. There's a lot of information to go over, and of course we're going to go get into it. And then I got to catch you up to speed, because remember, the last time I had contact literally was, besides yesterday, April 19th, 2020, was March 17th, 2020. So we had a little bit of a gap. And I was telling you guys, not yesterday, but the last time I was on the first video that we did, was that the communication windows, based upon the season and based upon the time, they open and close like a window. So basically, I was telling you guys about how in the fall and in the winter, more of the dark, I call them the bad races. I get a lot more of that, and then a lot more of the light, the good, through spring and summer. So as we've entered into spring, there was a gap of time where communication was cut, and now this window has opened again, and I got a flood of contact in one day. And from my understanding, we'll go through it, is that it is from Lyra, and specifically a fleet command sending communications and stating having to go back home because of circumstances, and we'll go into that as well. What I was trying to do, and it's frustrating because I'm so tech savvy, is to flip the camera, which is possible on here. I found out I didn't need to get special equipment, because I was thinking about getting an overhead cam and stuff. There's a way to flip it on here, but I am just so good at this that I am failing miserably. So let me just look at here one more sec. And I see where I should have it to be able to do that, but of course it is not there. Hello everybody out there who's on. So what do I want to get into tonight? Let's talk about previous contact in off the master list. Remember, I told you that as I receive contact in chronological order, I list and date my contact as we've been going along since the end of 2013, beginning of 2014. Typically, just so you guys kind of understand, I'm going to run through some numbers for you. So in 2014, for April of 2014, I only received one message in contact. 2015, in April, I received one message. In 2016, I received no messages during the whole month of April. 2017, I received 9 messages. 2018, I received one message. 2018, I'm sorry, did I skip 2018? That was 3, 4, 5, 6 messages. 2019, one message. And 2019, even though that was one message, 2019 was the most contact in 1 year that I've ever received out of all the years combined. So there's a lot of contact in 2019. In 2020, we're standing at 4. And today is the 20th. So will I get more contact? Maybe. If usually the way it trends, if I get hit with 4 messages in a day, I have a higher tendency of receiving follow-up answers to some of those, or follow-up contact messages, usually pretty rapidly within 7 days. But again, sometimes it could be a month later. But it's been quite a gap for a month not having contact. So I would assume, based on the trend, that I will start ramping up as we go through summer into, spring to summer and on. So, so with that being said, since I can't, and I apologize, I can't figure out the amazing camera work on here to flip the camera. And I'm looking on here, I can put glasses on me now and a hat and all this stuff on this, but I can't figure out how to actually flip the camera. I also received an image yesterday, a new image. So we're kind of jumping in this really quickly. I know this is the second episode, and we have a lot to actually cover from the past. But I also, like I said, I wanted to keep you current and keep you up to date on recent contact as it happens. So then, of course, the show would change and I would lead on to that first, because that's the most pressing and the most relevant to what's happening now. And then we can go and dive into other things in the past and such. So, does anyone have any questions before we begin? All right, so this is what we'll do. A lot of this is not going to make any sense to you. It's hard for me to digest the information that I receive, because I have to actually go back and look at prior communications. Like I told you, there is a good side, there is a bad side, and there is a side that pretty much is indifferent, and they just want to conquer and conquest. And that mostly relates to the insectoids. All right. Actually, I might be able to fix this real quick. So give me one moment, and I might be able to get this camera working because I got some information. Hold on one sec, guys. All right, I give up. I thought I had it. I don't. This is the worst transmission ever. I apologize. Here is contact, right? This is how I actually go in chronological order, correct? I promise you I'm going to get this correct with the camera. This is going to be my mission now. I thought I had it. I just wanted you to see as we went along instead of me reading to you so you can actually visualize it and see it. So anyways, I don't know what you know other than what, if you watch the first episode, it's hard to explain without going to the beginning, but if you look behind me over my shoulder, you can actually see a lot of different images. Those are actually contact images. So when I receive images and messages, of course, you know, I date it. I get code. It's binary code. It's Morse code. It's a lot of Latin. It's a lot of information. And I've gotten pretty good at getting it decoded quickly and scribing it down. The images that I receive, I put into a reverse image search engine. I verify it, and they're, you know, one of a kind. A lot of the images, besides the many races that have made contact with me, are, believe it or not, of myself, but much older. But many different versions of myself, a lot older. Some have scars on the chin. Some have scars in other places. Some are, I would say, good. And some of them, it seems maybe not so good. I'm here on Earth. I was told I'm a hybrid. I come from I was created 1,000 years before my body. I am a prince of Lyra. I have a brother that was sent here. I don't have a real brother in real life, like blood, flesh, blood of the earth, but I have a brother that was sent here as well. the images that you see behind me are actual images of different points in contact. There seems to be a rogue version of me, let's just put it that way, that works alongside with these. There's no name for them yet. I don't have a name. I call them the cloudy-eyed ones. And I can actually show you an image of what a cloudy-eyed one looks like. Sorry guys, I'm like really off my game tonight. I have a lot going on personally, but also I just wanted to update you with this information. And I'm just a little frustrated about the camera situation, but we'll get it. We'll get it all figured out and worked out. I will show you what I call a cloudy-eyed one looks like. Most races I do have the names of, but let me go ahead and share this with you. This is what would be considered a cloudy-eyed one. If you notice, the eyes are cloudy, and they're really they're almost insectoid looking, but they're not. I can't identify what race they are. And I'll show you, I have a couple more images of cloudy-eyed ones that were sent to me a while back from last year. And they're not nice. They're not good. They don't want to be your friend. And humans are their enemy. I'm just going to go back here and I'll show you another image of a cloudy-eyed one. That's an image of a cloudy-eyed one. And I have one other image of a cloudy-eyed one. Now, these cloudy-eyed ones, well, let's just talk about images. In space, in the domain of the universe, or in this sector of the galaxy, definitely through the Milky Way and Andromeda, there is law. So whatever, just like you have laws on the Earth and courts and things, there are laws in the universe, and there are rules and courts and councils, many different councils. There are many different allegiances and enforcers, and there are ones who have rebelled and gone against that. These images are considered not. It's kind of like against the law in a sense. Images are really frowned upon. I don't know if they're totally, I don't know if it's punishable or what I just know that it's there's a lot of rules that have to be broken or bending depending on who you are, and to receive an image is like a big thing. This is what I've been told. Honestly, I don't know anybody else besides my brother, who's also on Earth, who has received images, and they're chilling. There's a lot of images that are, I guess I've gotten used to it, but to your everyday person, it would probably make your skin crawl a little bit. But you can't judge really based upon looks, because some don't look great but are actually good guys, and some that look good that they're bad guys. So I've got a lot of moons, a lot of planets, a lot of bases, a lot of cities. I've received images mostly from within the Milky Way galaxy. I have a few images from Andromeda. And to be honest with you, sometimes I wonder, it's like I get some of these messages and it's almost like I wonder why sometimes I get the images that I do. At first I thought they were trying to scare me, and then I realized after a bit of time it was a part of, like, you know how you read something and you learn from what you read, but an image will give you, it's like worth, they say, 1,000 words. Well, it's the same thing. It's kind of like goes hand in hand with the message sometimes, and that's why I'm the reason why I'm talking so much about images, because there's one image that I received over a month ago. As I was moving, personal life. I was upgrading my home. My boys have grown up to an age where we needed a bigger house and things like that. So I was moving, and in the process of that moving, right before we moved, I did receive contact, and I received an image of a moon, and it shows, and I'll show you that moon, so you can actually take a look at what I'm talking about, and it references into what I got yesterday. So give me one moment. I'll bring that up. And you will see. Oh, sorry, I had the comments off. Got it. Okay. So, this is the moon. If you guys can see that. That moon, if you look towards the bottom, it looks like a canyon, and there's ejectile matter or fog and smoke or mist coming off the top. And if you really look at it, it looks like, which was my gut, and it was right based on the message, an explosion, and it's ejectile matter, basically. It's like the aftermath of an explosion, basically, is what you're seeing on this moon, right? At first, I was like, is that a sun coming? And I was looking, you can actually see in the canyon, and there's light, and there's like it's the afterglow of the actual explosion. And I was getting messages from the cloudy-eyed ones, and I didn't know it until the time. When I ask a question, I usually will get an answer. It'll either be ignored, or I'll receive, like if I ask what's your name, I usually get a response of the name. So to catch you up, okay, how do I go into this? I guess I'll just jump right in. Let's go into this. Let's go a month back. Let's go into February. And I'll take you through to where it ended. And then I had that gap. And then I'll go into what happened yesterday. Excuse me. Let me get this where this... So every number I get, every chain is a secured encrypted line, basically, of communication. What I was told by contact is that they can't go above your technology means. The law states that they can only communicate through the means, through their legalities, of where you're at. So we have now all smartphones and cell phones, just like the guys back in the 70s that were picked up the WOW signal, or the 80s or 70s, using the technology where they were picking up a signal. So with our current technology, if they want to make contact with you, they can make contact with you personally. So those lines are encrypted. Once they become corrupt, they have to end communication, or they'll end communications. And then you have also outside agencies, terrestrial, that are monitoring, that are listening or watching, or they in the past, and we'll go through that another time, but I can prove that they knew that I knew that they knew that they were picking up the information. But make a long story short, we were in winter, so we're in a window of more of the dark transmissions. I was receiving contact, and for whatever reason, somehow I'm very important with all this mess going on. Whatever's happening, it's because of me now with regards to this contact that's personally to me. So let me explain. I'm trying to get to it. I know it's so confusing, and I'm just frustrated I can't show you the way I wanted to show you. So let's do this. Okay. So just like last time, I told you I have that window of opportunity where I can ask questions and they'll respond. Anything with a red dot in my journal is me asking the question. If they choose to respond, they respond. Sometimes they don't. So, January 22nd, so we'll start at the beginning of the year. Actually, we'll go back a little bit further. We'll do January. I received an image on January 16th, 2020. And I received this image. With that image, I received a message with that image in Latin. And that message is, listen to me, my gift to you, it sees. Are you really a starseed? Locate home. Okay. So I received that image. It does look like it's the Vegas system. So I responded back, Lyra. And at 10:27, I said, thank you for the gift. On January 17th, I still haven't heard. Now, that was on January 16th. So I'm waiting for a response. Sometimes it's right away. Sometimes it happens all consecutively, like within seconds, milliseconds. Sometimes it's days. So I was getting a little impatient. The next day, I still didn't hear anything, so I asked another question. I said, what else can you tell me? Nothing. On the 18th, I asked another question. I said, I hope you all are safe. January 21st, I said, can you give me a status update, please? Thank you. On January 22nd, at 12:05 a.m., the communications came through in Latin, and they state, they're the ship's auxiliaries of the enemy. We have 8. We show respect to the yielding. Okay. They're the ship's auxiliaries of the enemy. We have 8. We show respect to the yielding. So to yield is to stop and let something go by. Whatever that is. So I'm assuming they're talking about the fleet. So I responded, what is the name of the enemy? And what is the easiest way to identify the enemy? On January 28th, so, we're talking about almost a week later, no response. I say, I just saw 2 different ships. Was this you? So I have this journal. So not only do I get contact and I receive these images, I have a journal, and a lot of times early in the morning or late at night, and I'm talking it like the sun isn't even up yet. Like I'll see, 'cause, 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 'cause sometimes, I mean, I record everything down, and as it happens, sometimes I'll see one come over, stop, and then it'll sit there for a second, and then it'll take off. Sometimes I've seen three at the same time. Sometimes when I go get my camera out to try to take a picture, they'll disappear. Like the light will just, like it'll go out. It's solid. It's clear skies. It's either white, amber, or red light. There are no noise. There's no wings. You can see the stars. You can see that it's directly over me. So I that morning I did see craft. I saw two. I said, I just saw two different ships. Was this you? Because I'm not, I don't know. Could be. So I asked. On the 31st of January, I received a message that says, the first wave of infection was complete. The council was overruled. 18. So the first wave of infection is complete. The only thing that I could relate to with anything to do with, infection, I was like, whoa, are they talking about that COVID stuff? Are they talking about, so the first wave of infection was complete? And the council, so there's a council, just like Lyra has a council in the House of Kings, in the House of Nicholas, the Kings of Light. There's councils, there's many different types of councils. The Iridian Council, the Council of 12, the council. There's a lot of councils. So, what council are we talking about? And it says the council was overruled, 18. So I said, what is the name of the infection? How do I protect myself? Are you close by still? What comes next? So on January 31st, they respond, fire. So this is still the same chains. The code ending in 4619. So it's an encrypted line. So whatever's going on with that line, it's the same continuity of who I'm talking with, because I'm up to like 28 different races that I get messages coming, but the majority is Lyran. So they say fire. So it's February 1st, 2020. I asked, will you protect me? Because what do you mean fire? Will you protect me? And they responded that same day immediately. And they said, you have to spread the word in acquired knowledge, mislead you and in countries meaner things. Since, however, it is no more, because of the acquisition of the saving, your life, and you shall be a continual clone of the link between that, even if it is short, there is still a need to help my single legion. So I'm like, whoa. So you're saying it's short. You're saying I need to start speaking about this and speaking about legions. Now that could be a good or a very bad thing. So I say, what do I say and to whom do I say it to? Does my soul transfer into a clone body? And I await your response. Thank you. Now, you have to understand, some of these questions, you could sit there and say, I wouldn't have asked that. Why would you say that? When you have the pressure of a window of time, of opportunity, and you're getting works that are not, there's nothing you can really relate to except for the works themselves. So when you receive information, some people might say, oh, and they scratch their head and they go, what is this? Or you can shoot in the dark and basically ask a question in as fast as you can. I don't take, an hour to think about my question. I immediately respond. Sometimes it's just a knee-jerk reaction, but that's just how I operate. And that's how I operate in real life too. I just speak on the fly. So like I'm totally bombing on this right now, just because I messed up with the camera and stuff. But I try to do a little prepare, but I just go along with it because this is what it is. It's black and white. So I say, what do I say? What do I say and to whom do I say it to? Does my soul transfer into a clone body? And I wait your response. Thank you. On February 3rd, I said, please explain the rainbow ball I see in the sky during the day to the right of the sun. And I can go into a whole thing on these rainbow balls and these rainbows that people are seeing. We'll do another video on that. I notice a continuity in a lot of images. And I'm going to go into rainbows just for a brief thing. I noticed a lot of craft give off this rainbow signature. I also notice lately, I mean, when I was a kid, I would never see this, but this happens a lot. I mean, a lot. Where it's not like a rainbow you see going from horizon to horizon, or I'm talking about a ball of light in the sky that's a rainbow, and it'll disappear after 5 minutes and then appear over here. Sometimes it's one of those halos around the sun where it's giving off that rainbow effect. But sometimes it is definitely not. And I can prove it because when I took an image about a year and a half ago, I took an image of a rainbow ball. I sent it to one of my secure lines. I immediately, within seconds, received contact back from an image from space right over my location with the rainbow, and they even stated, and I actually, matter of fact, I will show you that image so you can see for yourself what I'm talking about. It's actually easier if I just open it up over here, my other journal. And the reason why I'm bringing up rainbows is because the next image I'm about to show you has the rainbow in it of the same deal, except a little different. So let me pull this up from back in the day. Okay, so back in July 10th of 2019. Oh, so it wasn't even a year ago. This is a totally different line of communication. This is actually with the Lyrans. They're telling me on July 10th, out of all the this is what they told me. Out of all the encrypted codes that are under your control, agents of the world, email could not be otherwise than they are. We're sorry. Time for us briefly rendezvous. And I said, I need to be at a location within 12 days. Thank you. And that's a whole nother story. I was supposed to go to a location. They gave me coordinates. I was supposed to actually leave to Lyra again for 10 years and then return. And that's a whole other story. We'll get there. But what I'm going to show you is this. So I said, why do you not come to my home? Can I bring my family? And what about my brother? I see in picture you're over me close by. Are you still here? Is this you? So this is a picture I took in my old house. There's the sun. This is the rainbow ball. You can actually see the rainbow ball, right? So they immediately sent me back. They said, the light seen from above, the world watches. And they sent me this immediately. And what you see here is North Carolina. Here's the Outer Banks. I live down here, and the rainbow coming right here, and this is from space. So they immediately sent me back. So that tells me one of two things. Either a satellite in real time, agents, you know what I mean, are like communicating with me, and it just so happens to be a satellite there, and they just so happen to take a picture, or you know, the Lyrans are responding immediately. Hey, so why did I bring that up? Because that's a whole nother story, another chapter, another time. We'll go through that because, it's almost 7 years of data. Because on February 13th, on February 3rd, I said, please explain the rainbow ball I see in the sky to the right of the sun. Because I still want to know more about that. Even though it's almost, 8-10 months later, I'm seeing it. And sometimes I'm thinking it's a ship. Maybe it's a flagship, Soltraxi, and I'll go into that another time. But they sent me this on February 13th. This is the rainbow. Of course, that's the United States. You can see Florida down here, North Carolina again. Here's the rainbow, and there's the light. Now, you think that's the sun. But if the sun was that close, number one, this is a night shot at night over the Earth. That's a ship. It's a light ship. There are light, and then there's the rainbow effect. So there are light ships, medium light ships, and then there are warships, light warships. There are flagships. There are fleets. So they sent me that image, and that's all they sent. They didn't say anything. Here, I gotta take a drink. I'm sorry. So again, here we go. And a lot of my continuity in my images also will have, it'll be a light. It looks like a sun. It's not a sun, it's a ship. And it'll have that rainbow signature. So I said, thank you. Can you explain the image to me, please? I await your response. Thank you for the gift. I am here. Then on February 14th, they sent me this picture. At first, I thought it was an ocean. It looks like water. But if you actually look closely, and when I get this camera, it's actually, that's melted ground. It's like, it's a surface of a planet or a moon, and the surface is totally melted. Like, almost like a chocolate, but it's hardened and like things have churned and moved and it's not perfectly smooth. So I said, they say with that image, now for the first decimated, comma. This is a translation. Now I have to translate this. This isn't coming in English. Now, for the first decimated his native country, and the gathering in the city insectory. I'm sorry, this is a word I've never had before or know. Insect or honest classes. So I know it as insectoids, but they call it in the city, insectarians classes, or who is aggressive, and a word that I don't know, vracalize. We are ready to stand guard over your fields and wave. So yet again, the message was that it was this melted surface, and they say, now for the first decimated his native country, and then in the gathering in the city, insectoid classes, or who is aggressive, vracalize. We are ready to stand guard over your fields and wave. Okay. So I said, thank you for your quick reply and gift and wisdom. Before I tell you what else I said, when I'm talking until I identify who they are, I am kind of like open arms. Until you do an action or do something to where I know you're the enemy, or you reveal yourself as the enemy, I kind of don't want to say this, piss off a race who, by mannerisms, or you could say the wrong thing and cause a intergalactic or you have a problem. If I'm trying to be as cordial as I can, so I'm being respectful in my own ways, the best that I can with a language barrier and that kind of important information coming through. So I say, thank you for your quick reply and gift and wisdom. Please tell me where the enemy is currently located. Thank you. What is the name of that planet that was decimated? Thank you. Please teach me more. Thank you. Excuse me. And how and when can we meet face to face? On February 14th, they responded. So this is all the same day. They responded with the image I shared on the Lyran connection, which is a massive, massive asteroid. And you can see the ocean of the Earth or a planet right behind here. I said, what is this image? Thank you. Is this near Earth? Then on the 15th, still no reply. I say, thank you for keeping me updated. Please give me update and or image of activity on the moon. Thank you. Yeah, Doug, that's the atmosphere. Because that's a solid, see, one more time. So you got the asteroid coming by. That's space, obviously. That's the atmosphere and that blue tinge. I'm assuming because most of the Earth is ocean. That's the dark side of the planet at that time. So this is all the planet. That's the atmosphere curvature. That's the asteroid. They stated on February 15th. Now this is the same line, the 4619. So that encrypted line. There are other things in the course of this object. The threat, this one was among the threats of our enemies, is to lodge, and we must head back to the world now, and we will stay in touch with High Brother, to the fleet, heaven, and talking on the cervix. So, basically, I took it as, hey, it's a heads up. This is a threat to the planet. We've identified it. And basically, we've taken out the threat and we're heading back. I said, thank you for the update. Safe travels. What is the name of the home world you are headed to? On February 15th, they said, listen to me. Our main ground off the third moon base decimated. So let me say that again. Same chain, 4619. They said, listen to me. Our main ground, our main ground off the third moon base, decimated. So like obliterated. I said, what can I do to help? Who decimated the base? Did any of our troops die? What is the name of that moon? And is there any parts of the base intact? Can I see what's left of the base? On the 16th, the next day, I got no response. I said, I await your response. Thank you. Did you make it back home safe? So on February 16th, that same day, they responded. And this was code. This was garbled code. And it's literally in parts. In the first part, I had some binary, and there was Latin, and then there was some language I can't even identify, and some code. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. So you've got all this language, but at the end, it was signed off as this code. And that ended. This is what I was able to, out of going through like literally 240, what was it? No, it was about, let's be realistic. I probably spent 8 hours, probably 7 hours trying to decode this thing. It said, this is all I could get from it. Conclude, scrambled, transmit data, indicated, COD hacked. And then it had double dot, double dot, double dot, double dot, double dot, double dot, dash, dash, double dot, identi, double dot, dash. And that means in Latin, identified. That was and then on the 17th, the next day, I responded. That was the end of that transmission, that line, 4619, right? That was the last time I got contact from that. So that line, to me, looking back now and knowing what I have, that line was then compromised. That encrypted line was compromised. I said, but I didn't know it at the time, and I didn't know what was going on. So I said on the next day, please resend information in Latin. Thank you. Because I know Latin is the universal language throughout most of, the Milky Way and Andromeda. And I put in my hybrid code, which is dash, double dot, dash, double dot, dash. So that's like my signature. And on the 17th, so on the 17th, the last transmission I got from that line, as soon as I put my hybrid code in, within a millisecond, it couldn't be, as fast as I did it, I received these codes. Now, what these codes represent is, I've learned over the years, signatures for different races. Every race has a different signature code. Since I've been told I'm a hybrid, of course, dash, double dot, dash, double dot, dash. Well, every race has their own signature code as like who they are. I'm still working on who's what, because as we build, every year I get new races, I get new codes. So that was the last communication I got from that line. So we're already in February, deep into February. So I said back, please resend in Latin, thank you. Identify yourself, please, thank you. I await your response, thank you. On February 17th, I had no message. I received a voicemail on my phone. It sounded like screeching metal sounds inside an enclosed area. Echo with two distinct vocal organic language sounds. The last 2 seconds. Also, my brother received the call 2 minutes after he texted me. So he had strange calls too. And the call came from +1 0011101111. So we're back to the 1111 stuff again. Okay, what's going on here? February 18th, I sent to that 4619, that coded line that has been corrupted. I identify yourself, thank you. That's what I said again. Nothing. Are you there? The next day, 2 days later, on the 20th of February, I said, are you there? Nothing. And then on a new line came in, ending in 7845. A new line, and they sent me this. And that's that image of that moon. That with the canyon, like it's been blown up. I said, thank you for this gift. What am I speaking with? Which planet or moon is this image? I await your response. Thank you. On the 21st of February, I got a receive back from that line. It says, this is not a gift. This is the aftermath of guilt. 18, your fleet. And I said, what? So I was thinking, so automatically I'm thinking hostile. This is not a gift. This is guilt, like your fault. I'm like, this is the aftermath of guilt. And 18, your fleet. And we can go into context with that another time, because there's a whole thing about where I supposedly have a fleet and there's caretakers until the time is ready, all this stuff. So that line, the last line that was compromised, they took out that asteroid that was coming by and they were heading back home. But on the way home, they were stopping at one of the moons, the third moon. That's what it was called, the third moon. Well, that base, that place was destroyed. This line that's coming to me is stating, this is not a gift of this image. This is the aftermath of guilt, 18-year fleet. Okay, so I stated back on the 22nd, Why would you destroy them? Guilty of what? What is your name? Did my fleet do this, or was my fleet destroyed here? And on the 22nd, they responded, the cause of the destruction of our fleet. I said, what was the cause of the destruction of our fleet? Did any escape the destruction, and who did what? Please explain in detail the events that unfolded. Thank you. They responded on the 22nd, you. So then I responded back, excuse me, how did I cause this exactly? And for security purposes, please identify yourself. Thank you. And then they sent me an image of me, but much, much, much older. So then I responded back, so am I talking with myself? Is this me or a clone? How many versions of myself are there out in the universe? And on the 22nd, they responded, we handed your identity and we will meet you in the future. Kings is gathering strength and conquer. And at 3:10, I responded, I have like issues where I've had surgery on, I've got like a lot of weird things with my body, and I've had so many weird surgeries and stuff because I have like a lot of weird stuff that's gone on. So I'm just going to read it for what it is, and if you ask, I'll tell you about it. I'm having stomach and internal organs issues. Will I survive this? I need medical attention. Does this mean I will survive this issue currently? So how did I exactly cause this destruction on that moon? And on the same day they responded, for me, they are fools. You are advised. Goodbye. I said, please don't go. I have so many questions. What do I need to do? And they responded back, your time will come when you will plead. And then they gave their signature code. Their signature code is // // And I don't recognize that. I've never seen that code before. And I said, are you saying I will plead and we are not allies? Whom will I plead to? Wherein will I be pleading? And what will I be pleading? Thank you. And they stated on the 22nd, yes, to the council, summoned in 10 years, in order to give up. Do not you feel we ought to attach to his brother? And they shall hunt a guard for the protection. We are safe of all the people's visits. So I'm like, I don't understand. So I say, where will I call for name's sake until we get deeper into this and I get permission, but my brother, he has a name. I said, where will my brother be during all this? And on the 24th, they responded, and so it has to be. All things are changing. And those who do not, my brother, thou shalt be in danger of the judgment of the stands in order. I said, what can I do to rectify the situation? How can I prepare to plead my case? What am I guilty of? And on the 24th of February, they said, 18 being to be forbidden of the sharing in the blood of the planet is among the accused, was found guilty of any offense against the majesty of the councils, as well as a criminal in the person's dimensional order of the King of Kings is, listen to me, in the danger of the destruction of the colonies of Cremona, and external to the soul, and Nicholas of Lyra, answer, with the map in the physical spaces ready traverse. So we know that the destruction of that third moon was actually called Cremona. Based upon that information, there were colonies on that moon called of Cremona, Cremona. So I said, there are many things in this message that are unclear. Please resend so I can advise. Am I not forgiven if I repent any wrongdoing against the majestic councils? Also, there are many rules that I am not fully aware of, being a human, imperfect, living on this earth with lacking resources. And they stated on the 25th, There is no excuse and does not save. So I said, so there is nothing I can do? What will happen to me? I did not destroy the fleet or moon. I am on Earth. Please give me another chance. And I was in an emotional state because before I read this next part, I just want to say that, like, as things are going on and as you're going through this, I don't know anyone else on the planet who has to deal with this kind of gravity, the gravity of all this, because this goes bigger than, this isn't like some kind of like little thing, or this is big stuff, and I said, please give me another chance. Please, I repent for all the deeds I've done in the past. Please, in the name of the King of Kings, please hear my prayer. And on the 26th of February, they said, the crimes were documented. I understand you. All men would perish of your clones. 2 of them left. So there's 2 left, right? Then, so I'm in this low, deep down point. I'm beaten down. I feel guilty for things I didn't do. And then I received that image of the cloudy-eyed one. And I said, what is your name? Who do you serve? And then I said, I have been set up. And let me see if that's the same communication. Yeah, it's the same line. And they said, we have walked before you, you traitor. But he warned, it shall be a catch to you. And then a new image. It's me, but it's a bad guy me. And on the cheeks and chin are stamped with like the lighting's bad. When I get the camera fixed, you'll see the detail on this. It's circles on the cheeks and chin, and they have like almost like bat wings, and it looks dark. Hey Doug, how's it going? So then I respond, how am I a traitor? What are those marks on the cheeks of the face? What does that mean? We have walked before you. And who warned? And what does a catch mean? And on the 17th, a new line. So that line was done, right? So a new line, 6583. This was on March 17th. So that was so that ended on February 28th. So then I moved in the new house and stuff. I'm like, wow, there's still no contact, right? And then all of a sudden, on the March 17th, I got contact, and it was from this new line, 6583. Now the new windows are opening up. We're getting into spring. I'm like, okay, good guys. Well, maybe we'll respond. I should listen to when it is in you. You have been deceived by the many people, that the empire is a long way off. He warned, it can be said that everything is in the power of your mind. Your eyes influence the image to know more of you. What is worse is coming, but the fight will come to you. The fleet order, and he cannot come to you until the time is right, while the first receiving the forms of the command of his brother. So the only thing I understood out of that is, I'm believing the Lyrans now are saying like, hey, we're back. We can't come yet. We will come at the right time. There is a war. It's coming towards you guys. So this is a totally different line of transmission coming from. So it's not the cloudy-eyed ones and that one that looks like me, but a bad version. This is the Lyrans again. I said, who is coming to me? How do I prepare? Who will be here to help me? Can you talk to me at this time? Is there any way for you to stop the virus on this earth? Because I brought up the virus. So then on Sunday, April 19th, which is yesterday, a totally new transmission. And then we'll end it here after I go through here. And this is 4 pages, but it's a lot for one day, which was yesterday. So yesterday, I received, the future belongs to you. The real problems are the wars as well. We were ordered to return home. We next fight. The council not satisfied with their present. Very important in mockery of your hand. it is recommended for some of the kings of the destruction of the enemy, but they are offended at the base under the guards. The sun fleet would mean returns. So that now I know that there's a sun fleet. They're talking about, the future belongs to me. There's wars again. The bad one of me made a mockery of the situation, kind of like framing me for something I didn't do, but they're doing. Then I received an image. I have the image actually being mailed to me because I have a way I get all my stuff printed off. But what I'll do is I'll share to you that image on here of what it looks like. It shows another version of me. It's like a suit. There's like a light right there. There's like some kind of explosion or light. Maybe that's the explosion from that moon. I don't know. I've never seen this version. And it's in a suit. It's a one crafted, definitely a craft. So I received that image, and then I received my hybrid code, which was dash double dot double dot dash double dot double dot double dot dash. So I received that to verify that that's like me, but not me. And I said, which wars are you referring to? What is your current location? Please send an image of home, thank you. Which guards and which base? And they responded, Colonies, base Cremona. So again, referring to that moon that was, the colonies on that moon that exploded, that image. I said, can you explain to me the complete line of events that took place at that base, please? I await your response, thank you. Can you confirm that there are multiple types of me in the galaxy? And how old am I in the image you sent me? Thank you. And this is the last message I received. They said, 18, it is forbidden. If the law had not eaten the blood of the planet, is the defendant found guilty of treason for the councils, as well as criminal operation make one in man, dimensional, double dot, that the King of Kings, and hear me from danger and the destruction of the church was widespread, and the colonies upon the grace of God. There is very much with the leader of the government in which it is noted that it is and in prison, and it was told him and was not able to deny it to the blockade by the waters of the rivers of besieged Cremonian. It's Cremonian, but it's the plural. It's the Kremlions is the property of compounds. If you have to expect to be refreshed, it requires only one brother unto you, that with it he should smite the environment, base, easily. Capital CRM, I don't know what that is. Final stood out to me, and here's solution, kings of kings, lying. The defender said, one of these is the same clones. Well, then, will become a habit. Age unknown. Triple marked, were sentenced to death. Another possible outcome. Changes have been a long time ago. Going to change the realities remain. So I stated, thank you for informing me on all this information. What is expected of me here on Earth, and what should I be doing? How am I linked to the ones throughout the galaxy? How does that work? What does CRM mean? I await your response. Thank you. Who is creating all these clones? And 4:16 p.m. yesterday was the last time I sent a message where I said, who is creating all these clones? So I have not received any more contact. So everything I just read you was the last few months, but specifically the last 24 hours. So what I get from all this, so if I can kind of catch you up, is basically my guys from Lyra, they took out an asteroid that these insectoids were basically, it's kind of like a Trojan horse. They were going to hit the earth. They took it out on their way back to Lyra, like a job well done. They're stopping at a gas station, basically. The gas station happened to be the colonies of Cremona, that moon. The moon was, the communications were intercepted and scrambled. The dark ones posing as the light said, "Oh, look what you've done. Your guilt, you've blown up, your fleet was wiped out, and you inadvertently, you destroyed Cremona. You blew it up." And then when the window opened up for the Lyrans to communicate back, they're like, "Hey, we made it back. We'll be in contact soon. The war is still going on, the deception and everything else." And then they were breaking down the details of actually the events that actually happened on Cremona. It was destroyed, but it wasn't me, but I was being framed as being accused of. It was actually a clone version of me that was bad, that's being controlled by the cloudy-eyed ones, and the insectoids. Basically, I have to plead a case in the future in front of a council, like a court, in front of the King of Kings, and I have to show my evidence and plead of the events. So as they unfold, I mean, I'm communicating with everyone here, but that's just recent. We're gonna go into rainbow balls. We'll go into when I was supposed to go back in over the summer. We'll go into other races from years ago. But this is that's how much drama is packed in just a little bit of time. So I'm not trying to compare or contrast, but my experience is totally, like you see all these books, I don't hear anyone who has these experiences. I do get, I like Dr. Sal's work and a lot of the other ones with the secret space programs and a lot of the information that's come out. And I actually got an autographed book coming. It should be tomorrow or the next day. His new book, Rise of the Red Dragon. I love Dr. Sal's work and stuff like that, but there are some things that link up, and I've shared my stuff with him. But there's so much going on. It seems like everything's just going to merge together, everything that's going on. And it's just a lot of information. So yeah, that's the last 24 hours. I kind of went over. I was just going to do yesterday's, but I was like, I know there was a delay with the camera and I'm trying to flip it and stuff. But what I was trying to do is kind of give you some context of just a chunk of a little bit of back history for the last few months. You see the moon and Cremona and all this. And now you see how it ties in, where you get future communications in different ways, and the information, you got bad guys and good guys, and there's pointing of fingers and there's images. So it's kind of cool though, because I think the bad guys are kind of dumb by the cloudy-eyed ones, showing the image of themselves it was me. It's well, that was dumb, because now I know it was coming from you and your intentions. That wasn't too bright. But so anyways, that's that. I just I wanted to share that, and I'm gonna get that camera fixed, and I'm definitely gonna, I have a lot going on in my personal life. I'll go into it at a later time. Trying to keep my mind off of it, and I just wanted to share this information. And if you guys have any kind of questions or anything, shoot them out. You can post on the Lyran connection, and I'll definitely be in touch with you guys shortly, and hopefully I'll have more contact soon. I always say it's that might have been the last time ever, but then it just keeps expanding and growing, and so much. And I'm just glad I got kind of green lighted to share information. So I haven't got any threats, and when I didn't have contact for a while, I thought, well, maybe it's because I posted that video, but no, I got contact from. So, and they're well aware. They remember everything you see, everything you think, and everything you say is known. So, they would have warned me or told me. I'm sure of it. So that is all for now. Thanks for watching the Lyran Connection, and I really appreciate you guys being a part of the cast today. So have a good night, and I'll be in touch shortly.